Welcome to today's Explainer. When we look around at the world, the massive bridges, the towering skyscrapers, all that heavy machinery, it's super easy to think that iron and steel are the undisputed kings of the engineering universe. And yeah, for sure, they are the absolute heavyweights of structural engineering. But here's the secret. They literally can't do it all. As our world has gotten faster, more electrified, and way more advanced, engineers have had to call in the specialists, the metals with unique superpowers. Today, we're exploring the elite squad of materials that make modern aerospace, advanced electronics, and even life-saving medicine possible. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're opening up our dossier on these superhero metals, moving beyond iron and steel to meet our lightweight champion, aluminum, checking out the unrivaled conductor, copper, and exploring the elite survivor, titanium, before wrapping up with the future of these incredible materials. So, Part 1. Beyond iron and steel. To really grasp modern engineering, we've got to look past those iron-heavy norms. We're talking about non-ferrous metallurgy. Basically, this is the study and processing of metals and alloys that don't rely on iron as their primary base element. And we aren't just picking random elements off the periodic table here. We're exploring highly specialized materials that step in to fill absolutely critical roles that ferrous metals could never, ever pull off. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we need them. Just look at the dramatic differences in density here. If we set steel as our baseline at 100%, check out what happens when our non-ferrous heroes enter the picture. Titanium clocks in at roughly 50% the density of steel. And aluminum? It sits at roughly 33%. That's literally just a third of the weight. I mean, if you're trying to build a jet plane or a hyper-efficient car, steel is just a baseline hulk. It's way too heavy. That dramatic weight reduction is exactly why engineers turn to these alternatives. Which brings us to Section 2, aluminum, our lightweight champion. Because of that incredibly low density we just saw, aluminum has snagged the title of the most widely used non-ferrous structural metal on the planet. Now, pure aluminum, on its own, it's actually pretty soft and weak. You definitely wouldn't want to fly in a jet made out of a soda can. But when engineers alloy it, mixed it with other elements, it gains these incredible, highly specific strengths. It's like a recipe book organized into a standardized numbering system. The 2000 series uses copper to get high strength, though it does trade off a bit of corrosion resistance. Then you've got the 6000 series, which mixes in magnesium and silicon for a really versatile balance of moderate strength and great formability. And then there's the heavy hitter, the 7000 series. By alloying aluminum with zinc, engineers achieve the absolute highest strength levels among common aluminum alloys. That right there is exactly why it's the go-to for aerospace structural applications. But wait, aluminum actually has another trick up its sleeve. It naturally forms this super thin, stable, protective oxide layer right on its surface. The crucial point here is that this brilliant little trait gives it inherent corrosion resistance. It literally protects itself. In a lot of environments, it doesn't even need extra protective coatings. When you combine that self-protecting quality with its excellent strength-to-weight ratio, it becomes a total no-brainer. It's the completely dominant choice for things like making cars lighter and packaging goods globally. All right, moving on to Section 3, copper, the unrivaled conductor. Let's shift our energy a bit, because while aluminum is all about structure and keeping things light, copper is the irreplaceable lifeblood of modern electrical engineering. We value it for a totally different set of superpowers, mainly its exceptional electrical conductivity and outstanding thermal conductivity. Basically, everything from those massive humming transformers on our electrical grid to the tiny little motor windings inside your kitchen appliances, they depend entirely on copper. But it doesn't stop there. Copper naturally possesses antimicrobial properties and excellent corrosion resistance. That makes it uniquely valuable in plumbing and highly specific medical environments, where keeping things sterile isn't just nice to have, it's a matter of life and death. And let's see how this builds when we start mixing copper with other elements. Just like aluminum, copper has some pretty famous cousins. Take brass, for instance. It's an alloy of copper and zinc, which gives us improved strength and machinability compared to pure copper, while still holding on to that great corrosion resistance. And then there's bronze, which is traditionally a mix of copper and tin. Bronze brings some serious wear resistance to the table. Historically, it's been the go-to for bearings, bells, and marine hardware that has to survive punishing, salty ocean environments. So that leads us to a pretty interesting dilemma. If aluminum is so incredibly light, highly versatile, and cheap to produce, why do we even need anything else for structural engineering? Like, really, why aren't we just building absolutely everything out of aluminum? Well, that brings us to Section 4,
Titanium, the elite survivor.
Because sometimes aluminum just isn't strong enough, and steel is way too heavy. That's when engineers call in the absolute elite specialist of the metallurgy world. Titanium occupies this totally unique position, creating an unbelievable paradox. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it balances out. On one hand, it matches the brute strength of some steels, but it manages to do that with roughly half the density, meaning half the weight. It is an unbelievable strength-to-weight ratio. Oh, and just like aluminum, it forms a natural, extremely stable oxide layer, giving it absolutely outstanding corrosion resistance. Thanks to that killer combination of high strength, low weight, and serious corrosion resistance, titanium is invaluable. You'll find it everywhere, from critical aircraft structures to jet engine parts, where saving even a little weight translates directly into massive fuel efficiency. But here is where it gets really fascinating. It's also extensively used for hip and knee implants. Why? Because medical-grade titanium is biocompatible. It resists corrosion inside the human body and possesses this incredible ability to bond directly with surrounding bone. Seriously, it becomes part of you. However, these superpowers do come with a catch. Titanium is significantly more expensive and a whole lot harder to process than aluminum or steel. Because of its extreme reactivity at high temperatures, it requires highly specialized melting and machining techniques. It really is the ultimate premium material. Finally, Section 5, let's talk about the future of metals and how we're pushing the limits. So we've met the main squad, but how are these metals actually shaping the future of engineering? Well, engineers are always trying to push the boundaries. Take magnesium, for example, another notable non-ferrous structural metal. It boasts the absolute lowest density among common structural metals, literally the featherweight champion. But it comes with a major caveat. It requires extreme caution. Why? Well, this featherweight champion might literally catch on fire if engineers aren't incredibly careful. In a fine particulate form, magnesium is highly flammable, so it's very much a high-risk, high-reward material as we look toward the future of ultra-lightweight design. Meanwhile, our old friend copper is having a massive resurgence. The demand for copper is just skyrocketing right now. And this isn't just some abstract metallurgical trend. This directly affects our daily lives. This massive surge is driven heavily by the explosion of electric vehicles and the rapid build-out of renewable energy infrastructure. The green tech of the future is incredibly thirsty for the unrivaled conductive superpowers of copper. From the lightweight dominance of aluminum to the essential conductivity of copper, all the way to the elite, bone-bonding resilience of titanium, non-ferrous metals fill critical roles that iron and steel simply never could. But understanding what these metals do is really only half the story, which leaves us with a massive question. How do we actually pull these incredible superhero metals out of the raw earth in the first place? Next time, we're going to go back to the very beginning of the metallurgical process, looking at extractive metallurgy, smelting, and refining. Until then, keep questioning how the world around you is built.